At Hallis Hall, there are three pillars that translate to game day. There's greatness, passion, and tradition. And for these Bears rookies, whether you are a first-round pick or undrafted free agent, they are getting their first dip to the Chicago Bears tradition. I'm Jake Mozarsky, and this is Chicago This Week Sports.
Florida's really good. And people are going to sleep on Florida because if it's between people have not watched the Florida Gators enough. If it's between Florida and Auburn, people will pick Auburn. If it's between Florida and Duke, people will pick Duke. If it's between Florida and Houston, people will pick Houston. Florida has not been favored in any of those games. You know what they did in any of those games? At Auburn, at Alabama, at other teams? They won.
Duke is so likable, and I'm never going to root for them. But they're the better basketball team.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Oh, Lord.
Houston has a full week to prepare for
Lord.
Duke. Duke not showed signs of weaknesses, but there are some periods where they can't score. Some very small.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, I'm not going to say they can score with Duke, but they have scores.
Yeah.
LJ Cryer, Emmanuel Sharp, Milo Susan, they all shoot over 40% from behind the arc. Juwan Roberts is a perfect matchup for Kuma Maluak inside. They have Terrence Arson now. They have Malik Wilson. They have Joseph Tugler. And they have Kelvin Sampson.
Mm-hmm.
This game is in Texas. Houston crowd, you better show up. And I am going with the Houston Cougars to beat Duke.
Arizona basketball has surged in year one in the Big 12, but their one blemish going into tonight's game at McHale Center was their loss to Texas Tech in Lubbock on January 18th. But tonight, the Wildcats were a completely different team, and at the end, they came out victorious, avenging their loss, beating the Red Raiders 82-73. The Gators to lift that national championship trophy on Monday night. It starts with Walter Clayton Jr. He's one of the best scorers in America. He's one of the best shot creators in America, and he is one of the best closers in America, if not the best. You saw that against UConn and Texas Tech. This Florida team has been slept on. They haven't been looked as one of the best teams, and they probably won't be looked as the favorite if they do make it Monday night. But what I will say, and they've done it the entire season, Florida has won over and over and over again. Well, when it comes to the Chicago sports landscape, you have two baseball teams and their fan bases fighting for representation over one city. You first got the Northside Cubs World Series championship in 2016, the friendly confines of Wrigley Field, and the blue and white and iconic town. On the south side, you have the White Sox, who won the World Series in 2005. Blue-collared fan base, Rate Field's a place to be. But now, these Southsiders have something that not only the Cubs, but no other MLB organization can boast.
You know how Joel Embiid for the past 10 years has been saying, like, trust the process?
Yeah.
The Thunder were the process. I think the Thunder were the definition of the process. I think if they weren't in Oklahoma City, if you switched them in Philly, you know the process worked. You trade three all-world players, three all-world first-ballot Hall of Famers in Westbrook, KD, and Harden. I guess you didn't trade KD, but KD left. And you suck for a few years. And you bring in Melo and Paul George, and you're still sort of suck. I mean, Dame hit that shot that Paul George calls a bad shot. Thank you, Dame, because then they trade Paul George for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's now one of the best players in the league, Finals MVP.
Argue with me that Gabe Perreault doesn't make the Rangers a less skilled team. And with all the scoring problems that the Rangers' top six has had, they've scored one goal in their past two games. Chris Kreider, one power play goal. Mika Zibanejad has not had a good season. With all the problems that this Rangers' top six has had this season, outside of maybe Artemi Panarin and JT Miller, what does taking one of your most skilled players, even if he's young, out of the lineup when you have virtually nothing to play for, going to do? It just doesn't do anything, because anytime he gets a step on the ice, that's more experience.
But I think the biggest problem with the college football playoff right now, there are two conferences that are extremely better than the other ones. And so the losers of those conference championships, a la Penn State, a la Ohio State, even though they weren't in it, and a la Texas, they are, we could all agree, better teams than Boise State and Arizona State. But since Boise State and Arizona State won their conferences, they go to 3 and 4, which pushed Texas and Penn State down to 5 and 6. Then pushed the Notre Dame and Ohio State, the two teams that were in the Natty, down to 7 and 8. And that's a penalty against the 1 and 2 teams, because the biggest thing was Oregon went 13-0, and their first game has to be against Ohio State, which is the one team that you can make an argument is better than them.
Gardner and Wilson, you have two of the best players at their position in the league. They are now locked down. Their extensions don't kick in until next season, so you had them for the long haul. The Jets are a team that has not made the playoffs since 2011. These guys have not won a lot of games yet. but they are bought into the culture, and the New York Jets are going to get better as a football team. I think this year in 2025 is what I call a culture year, right? Not high expectations. The ideal expectation is probably the playoffs if you have to say something, but it's year one with Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji. You have to be optimistic. Again, in the win column, you might not see it. If I had to guess right now, the New York Jets don't make the playoffs in 2025, but who knows what could happen. It all depends on Justin Fields, right? But the young core's there. And so the pieces are there. And regardless, at the end of 2025, I think you have to be excited. I mean, you talk about that 2022 draft class with Gardner, Wilson, Hall, and Johnson. Hall and Johnson are going to get extensions soon or some sort of salary there. The New York Jets have all the young pieces to succeed. You talk about the Williams brothers, McDonald, Johnson, Michael Carter II. That young offensive line. Justin Fields is young. Who knows what he could do? You got to be excited if you're a Jets fan. What is your favorite Sam Rosen moment?
Well, I think my favorite moment personally has to be the one from the playoff series against the Pens 3 years ago where Panarin scored the winner in overtime. Just the tremendous enthusiasm he showed on the winning.
He scores! Rangers win!
Love that.
It's a power play goal!
Arizona head coach Tommy Lloyd said there's obviously going to be added pressure when a team beat you a few weeks ago, and the Wildcats showed that tonight they were urgent. And as Jaden Bradley put best post-game, Arizona had a chance to make an impact in year one of the Big 12, and they are putting themselves back on the map. They'll be ranked in the top 20 come Monday's new poll.
Cubs win, baby. Don't forget it. Nowhere else you'd rather be than Wrigley Field on opening day. Let's go, Cubs! Let's go!
It's officially baseball season, and that means Cubs fans have returned to Wrigley Field.
This is everything to me. I come to opening day every single year. If I were to die, spread my ashes on Wrigley Field.
The Cub and the White Sox bruisers break along social and economic and geographic lines. Fierce, passionate, desperate.
White Sox.
My brother and my 1-month-old niece are here, so I just met her on the field, and I figure I'll give him the ball to give to her or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Over my past 4 years, it's meant everything to me being a student manager here at Northwestern. Obviously, the connections I have here with my dad being the coach and just being around this team my whole life. I always knew I wanted to come to Northwestern and be a manager here. And finally living out that reality and finally completing my 4 years here at Northwestern has meant the world to me.
Fires. Up the middle. Edwards charges. Under's glove. And into scores Madrigal. And that should be his first big league hit. Hugs. Mom and Dad are loving it. It's a hit.
Go, Cubs, go. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today.
Speaking of your parents, they're right here. What's going to be the first thing you say to them?
Go hug them, kiss them, probably cry with them. You know, we're so excited.
Not get high!
Woo! Yes! Bear down! Let's go!
For the first round of the NFL Draft, Bears fans packed Soldier Field to watch the team's selection.
First time here, so it's been really great just to see the atmosphere, see the excitement of just the draft, and it's just really great to just be in an environment where everybody's excited about the Bears.
It kind of means a lot, so it's special.
It's huge. He's the first American-born Pope, and he's from the city of Chicago, best city in the world.
So we've got God on our side, whatever.
While results on the field are hard to come by right now, this is something that the White Sox faithful will remember for the rest of their lives.
When you think about the Pope, you really don't think of the Pope actually watching baseball or anything like that. So just to know that he's watching sports and is a White Sox fan makes it even better.
Career ends. I hope I get at least one more chance to say something like, the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
SGA has put Canadian basketball back on the map.
I think Canada has 23 players in the NBA, the second
the country behind the states, more than France, Serbia, all the powers you would think of. The game has become mainstream. You drive down suburban streets and there's basketball nets. Even when Steve Nash was winning those MVPs, he wasn't the guy in Phoenix. Shea is the guy.
Would do anything to go relive that first Purdue game over again. I've never been that overcome with emotion in my life, so I would give anything to relive that Purdue game.
I mean, I think the main word that I kind of, keep coming back to for that day is just gratitude. Grateful for, Northwestern, everything it's done for me. Grateful for everything it's done for us. And, I think it'll just, that was a really cool moment to just know that all those people honored, that night, will be in my life forever. And, that's something that I'm going to be super proud about. And, even though we're moving on from this chapter, we all get to go on to wherever we're going and represent this place as much as we can. It's just going to be so fun to have those people in life forever.
White Sox. The kick and pitch.